Welcome back, ladies and DeGents, to the Distinguished DeGents podcast, your one in many homes of degenerate gambling. I am the co-host of the Distinguished DeGents podcast. I am Steve, Big Bucks Beta, and joining me as always on this lovely Friday night for the Week 3 NFL Handicap, it's my co-host, partner in gambling. It is Jason Money Mansman. Money Mansman, after last week, I feel like I lost the Distinguished title. I'm going to put on the comfort shades real quick.
There you go.
For those of you, if you remember Big Daddy with Adam Sandler, these are the comfort glasses where I could hide behind these. Yeah, after my shit performance last week and really my lack of justification too, God, I feel like I personally lose the Distinguished title. I'm going to have to re-earn it this week. So for me, this is redemption week. Your thoughts and comments on that?
Well, I guess we'll get into Thursday night's game a bit more.
Oh, yeah. We could do that. Let's jump right into that then.
Okay.
We both took New England plus 6.5. This was Jason Money Mansman's dog of the week. Unfortunately, did not pan out. They lost 24-6. Aaron Rodgers had a decent showing, 280 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Number one receiver, not Garrett Wilson, not Alan Lazard. It's actually tight end Tyler Conklin. 5 catches for 93 yards for him. Breece Hall also ended up getting a touchdown in this game. We also got the debut of Drake May. Not that it did anybody any favors, because that went exactly as I thought it would.
So, for this game, gave out probably my worst handicap of the year. That was terrible. The Patriots never had a chance in that game. Like, literally from the first drive, that shit was over. And they had no chance. And what makes it even worse is I won money on this game. I won money last night. And my D-backs future play, they got to 85 wins, which means I basically profited 8 units last night. So for that,
nice.
For the duration of the rest of this handicap, sorry for the plastic bag. That's what we fucking get. I suck.
No.
I can't handicap. No. I'm shit.
You
dog
win money, though.
Dog of the week, all right. They were a fucking dog that needed to be shot in the face. That's what
Take him to the shed. Take him to the shed. Oh, no. Oh, Yeller. Oh, no. What are we doing? What are we doing? First of all, you win money. So not only did your Diamondbacks future hit on MLB, what did you hit on football? So, like, this is where I'm confused.
Listen to this goodie. Under, an alternate under 47.5. Jacoby Brissett, under 165 passing yards. That was easy. Alan Lazard, over 30 receiving yards. Money. So even though I had a shit handicap on the spread, I did make money. And for some reason, I feel like because I made money and gave out such a shit handicap, it's time to do the rest of this handicap with the plastic bag on. Not a paper bag, a plastic bag.
Can you even breathe? I mean, like, are you okay? Like,
winners get to breathe, buddy. It's like winners get to eat, winners get to breathe. That's terrible. I'm so bad right now. I can't pick my nose. I mean, how bad was that game for you, Big Bucks? Like, that was horrible.
I mean, I will say the one note you did get right was that the minute this game kicked off, there was hope, and then the Patriots got on the field, and that hope just dissipated.
I should have lied about it. Like, I should have lied. I was like, from the literally first drive 3 and out, and then they score a touchdown. I'm like, this game. I
should have lied bet it at halftime. I could have got it minus 13.5.
Oh, what's so frustrating is the Patriots had so many chances too. Like 14-3 at halftime. They put together one good drive. They're back in the game, but nope. The Patriots were completely hapless, completely outclassed. God, Aaron Rodgers looked so good last night too. That was so bad. I
mean, it sucked because if I had just listened to myself once again, and this is going to be the lesson going through this week, I should listen to myself more often because I even said, like, If I had to pick a spread, I'm going Patriots. But what was my stronger handicap? It was that the Jets were going to win. Had I just went with that angle and like handicapped it appropriately,
Maybe
I
just
probably
play
would have
Jets
hit.
money line.
Well, if I had just replaced Jets money line, I mean, maybe I don't hit 7.5 to 1. Maybe I hit like 4 to 1, 5 to 1 on, a same game parlay I threw in. But, but what do? I get cute. And that's what happened. I think I got cute with the 6.5 here. That's kind of my lesson. I should have realized that like Jacoby Brissett was going to get caught at some point.
Yeah,
Like
and there were
that's
numbers.
my
I mean, there were
takeaway.
numbers about the missing O lineman and the rest spot, and that played a part of it. But I just thought the game plan was. I mean, New England, like, they came out throwing against the Jets, and it made no sense. Like, they just got way too cute. And I mean, I guess it didn't really matter because, boy, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I hate to say it, he looked really, really good last night. I mean, some of the throws he was making, pinpoint dots, moving out of the pocket, like they're a threat to the Bills in the AFC East if they play like that. Now, I feel like I overreacted with the Patriots a little. Maybe I thought they were a little better than they were. The Jets, I'm still not super sold on, but that was a good performance last night by the Jets. You know us, we'll shit on the Jets, but no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They played really well, and what a donkey. What a donkey play, Patriots. Donkey play.
I think everybody drank the Kool-Aid. I think the Patriots played a really close week one. Or sorry, I mean, they played a close week one, but they won against a really, really weird Bengals situation here. And then out of nowhere, week two, they play really close against Seattle. So we kind of expected that with the Jets having a tough performance, against the Titans, we were like, oh, they're going to lay an egg at Thursday night. It's like, well, wait a minute. We still have Jacoby Brissett, who, God only knows we need to lay an egg. But before we move on, we're going to give out a quick shout out here. Our buddy Vitrell, he was on our week 2.
Okay, the plastic bag could go away for
Vitrell. No. Put that back on, sir. Put that back on.
Oh, okay.
Because you're going to have to talk about this. So, week 2, our week 2 recap show, we were joined by Mr. Kamish, a.k.a. Vitrell Kirkland, the host of the Dynapros Fantasy Podcast, who has invited us up into his next upcoming episode. Here to comment on the Thursday Night Football is Commissioner Kirkland himself.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Commissioner Kirkland, how are you, sir?
I am great. And I had to make sure I jumped on this one. I had to.
You really
need
to.
All right, Commissioner Kirkland, we'll go real quick. Jets 24, Patriots 6. Aaron Rodgers had himself a great fantasy performance. Tyler Conklin, is this going to be the new waiver wire pickup this week? What are your overall thoughts?
Tyler Conklin's going to end up a number 1 waiver wire pickup because of the game that he had. But don't be surprised if you see Aaron Rodgers jump up as well after a 280-yard performance.
Yeah, and this was Money Mansman's dog of the week. We put the plastic bag over the dog this week. Money Mansman is in the doghouse. What's your advice to getting him out of this?
So here's the thing. While I love my brothers and their Distinguished DeGents podcast, I believe it was Money Mansman on our week 2 recap that took the numbers and the stats for the Patriots, when I believe it was my good friend Big Bucks Abeta and myself that said it's going to be a Jets game. I'm pretty sure I even emphasized that they're going to ditch away from the run and they're going to stop the run.
Yeah.
So
that was my take. I'm hiding under the safety shades because my dumbass said to take the 6.5, not lay the 6.5 with the Jets, even though me and you did agree the Jets were going to win.
It's easy to stop the run when you don't even try it. Let's let Jacoby Brissett come out fucking throwing the ball behind a makeshift offensive line. That's a great game plan, Thursday Night Football.
I explained it on our recap podcast that it's a different era. This is the Rodgers era. Plus, you're going into a Monday night or a Thursday night game where both teams are trying to change the narrative, right? Everybody knew what the Patriots were going to do. Jacoby Brissett can't throw. they were going to force feed that ball, or the thought was they were going to force feed that ball because Jacoby Brissett can't throw. How do you think you're going to beat your opponent if you're a new head coach in the NFL? Well, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to try something. We saw Todd Monken do this in the AFC Championship game, and we saw the result of when you try to get away from what you really are. That game was a setup, and I am so glad to see my buddy Mansman in the trash bag.
Oh man, it's not what you want. But Vitral, we dubbed this redemption week, and this is to redeem specifically. I'm trying to redeem myself from my pitiful performance week 2.
Vitrell, you know I'm in the trash bag because I had a terrible handicap, but somehow made money on the game.
Did you really?
He did. Yeah. He made more money than I did.
How is that even possible?
Player stats.
Jenna, and for anybody who's live on this podcast, this is exactly why I tell you I love these guys, because their bets will hit. Between the two of them, their bets are going to hit. I don't like their fantasy talk. Speaking of which, Alan Lazard on the bench again, and our boy.
It's so crazy because I made money on his prop and I benched him. I fucking suck. So, I'm terrible.
That is a rookie mistake. You're going to play the bet but not play the player?
Bro, I'm done. Like, my season's over. Like, cancel the fucking football season. This is terrible.
Right. With that said, as we got Mr. Kamish here, he is the host of the Dynapros Fantasy Podcast. I hear you want us on for your episode coming on tomorrow. What can the people expect? What are you planning on dropping tomorrow morning for the folks?
For anybody who's out listening right now, again, I love to thank the Distinguished DeGents for bringing me back. Just let me do a quick little cameo. Tomorrow we will be dropping our start sit advice for week 3. We hit on, I believe it was 60% of our calls last week. We hit last night. You're definitely going to want to tune into week 3 to find out who you really should be sitting and starting dynasty-wise, and who you should probably be moving right now. There are a lot of guys that you should be selling while their values are high, because they're not going to carry for the rest of the year. So please make sure you tune in tomorrow.
And if you're listening, just do the opposite of what I say and you'll do really well.
Unless it's a bet, then you need to pay attention.
Yeah, if it's a bet, cue in on those bets. But if it's fantasy advice, and I can't even say anything. These gentlemen have 4 rings, but it goes to show you, I'm not sure how Mansman got 2 of his. So,
well, both of them were for me. Let's let that sink in. Both of them are for me. So we'll leave it at that. We can't wait to join you on your week 3 show. And to give you a little quick 5-minute segment, or as a little bit of a teaser, I'm actually planning on combining the two of betting and fantasy. And I'm going to plan on giving my top 5 daily fantasy lineups. My top 5 players for DFS for the week 3 lineups.
Shit. Look at this guy. Woo!
All right, that's some.
So we're going to combine the best of both worlds. I'd love to present that if you have the opportunity, but it's your show, so we're there to entertain and have fun as always.
No,
so
we're gonna. First off, and we could continue this on the back end, but I'd love to kind of take the Distinguished DeGents and the Dynapros podcast and roll them, because a lot of what you guys are playing on lines should be your fantasy lineup, Mansman. I'm not sure about that, playing the Lazard line and not starting him. That's something you don't do. But I would love to get down the line. We talk and really bring these 2 shows together, because they feed off one another. So,
there will be many more appearances from each of us in the
absolutely.
future. Commissioner, thanks for popping in. I knew you had to see this for yourself, and I'm glad you came in. And thanks for tuning in, buddy.
No problem. You gentlemen enjoy the rest of it. I'm going to stay in the background and enjoy I can't wait to hear the rest of this one.
All right. Thanks, Commish.
Thanks. Oh, boy.
All right. So, Money Mansman. That was one game. You already lost one of your best bets. You only got 4 left. Here we are. We got Dog of the Week, down the shitter. I think we've done enough of that. So we got 15 games going into Sunday, 2 Monday games too as well. So it's going to be a really weird week 3. Yeah. A lot of I know last week was a lot of like counterbalance weird lines, but this week is very much like you have very close lines. You have a couple home dogs. We have 10 non-conference games this week. And you know me with those betting trends. I'll give those numbers out later, but I want to get your overall thoughts on what you expect this week. How do you expect the How do you expect the betting trends to go closer to kickoff? And what are you really looking for?
Well, I mean, I don't want to overreact too much, but I feel like kind of the first 4 games are the preseason, if you will. And I think maybe we saw, like with the Jets Patriots, maybe the teams are starting to coalesce around a little closer to what we expected out of them from the beginning of the season. So it's going to be very curious to see what ends up happening this week. I know there's a couple weird quarterback spots. We talked about Easton Stick pre-show. Couple of the weird quarterback spots. Jordan Love listed as questionable. I don't think he's going to play. So we're starting to see injuries take a toll. We're starting to see travel take a toll. This is, I mean, looking at it, I think there's some tough plays this week. So I haven't been running well. This is going to be a tough week to right the ship. I'm feeling like.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could tell, but I'm kind of wearing all black today. I'm wearing like the ghoul theme. I'm pretty sure I was already written off for dead. I mean, that partially within myself, but part of it is a funeral for week 2. But like I said, it's redemption week. We're coming back. That's my goal. That's where I'm going to go with this. So whenever you're ready, we're going into week 3. We're going to go in strong. Starting with this game. Fox game of the week, aka the shit game of the week. It is Danny Dimeball Jones and the New Jersey Giants traveling to the misogynist Deshaun Watson's Cleveland Browns. Non-conference road underdog plus 6.5. Money line minus 360 for the Browns. The Giants, like I said, they are coming in as a road dog and they are plus 260 on the money line. Over under is set at 38.5 total points in this game. Money Mansman, I believe I went first last time. I can't remember, but I'm gonna defer to you.
Okay, I mentioned it before. Which side I'm looking at here? The Brownies 4 straight covering the spread following a win. Covered 6 of the last 7 home games. The only one being that stomping by the Cowboys. Here's my handicap. Though I'm going to keep this one simple, especially under a touchdown. You look at this Giants offense, and they've got one player, and you look at how they struggled week 1. No offense, they didn't look all that great in week 2 either against a really bad Commanders team. Cleveland at home, I just see this defense absolutely feasting. It is worth mentioning that Myles Garrett, I think he's got some sort of foot injury. I'm looking now to see what his status was. He didn't practice, so that's kind of dangerous. That's the one danger part of this game. But I don't know if it's going to matter. I'm down on this Giants teams to start the year. Them going on the road to the dog pound. That defense against Danny Dimeball. I don't have high hopes for this spot against the Giants. I think Cleveland's been very good. Has been very good coming off of wins, being favorites at home. I think I'm going to favor the Browns here. Give me the Browns 6.5.
Gotcha. Look, I fucking hate this game so much because you know me. I hate Deshaun Watson, despite the fact that I drafted him in the fucking Dynasty League. I hate Daniel Jones more, though. I don't get why they even paid him to begin with, just like Deshaun Watson, but we had seen enough of Daniel Jones in New York where it just never made sense that they signed him to begin with. Didn't make sense that they took away his best offensive weapon either. Been saying this for weeks. And then to make matters worse, Brian Daboll, head coach, wanted to know if he had a quarterback. I think you can answer it from last week. It's like, I mean, you have someone to fill the position at quarterback. I don't know if you have a quarterback. I honestly think you could make the same argument with Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson went to Jacksonville, did enough to get the lead, and then, the rest of the Cleveland Browns team put themselves in a position to get a safety to get the win against, Cinderella fucking Trevor Lawrence. and they got to win. Meanwhile, the Giants fucking score 3 touchdowns on offense against the Commanders. Hold the Commanders to no touchdowns on offense. Had a great game. Giants should have won that game. I think under most normal circumstances, they win this game. But they fucking don't elevate a second kicker despite the fact they knew Graham Gano was injured, injures himself on kickoff, and the whole game they can't kick extra points or kick field goals. And then they lose this game to be the first team in NFL history to get 3 touchdowns, hold the opponent to none, but let Austin Seibert kick 7 fucking field goals to win the game. Giants are unbettable. Browns at home, non-conference spot. NFC teams so far this year, I will say they are 3-1 ATS. They're only 50% money line. We've got 10 of these non-conference games, 5 of which are the NFC. I think this is where we start seeing some regression. I think we start seeing some teams get closer to the mean and to the average. I hate betting the Browns at 6.5. It's gross. It's grosser than all 80 plus of Deshaun Watson's charges that he faced, but I literally look at the 6.5 and it's like, what's the bigger trap? And to me, it's the Giants. They look good on offense for 1 week against a Commanders defense that I think is dead last in this league. They are terrible.
Let me give you a couple other ones. This is going to shock you. Daniel Jones, over under passing yards, 181.5. That to me is a dead under.
That's a dead under. What are we thinking?
Even
181?
This one's even more crazy, especially if you like the Browns. Deshaun Watson, 5 straight week 3s, over 264 passing yards. His over-under set at 200. And I think against this Giants defense, I don't think he's going to get to 260. I think he could very easily get over 200. Very easily against this Giants defense.
What's this 260 line? Because, last week he only got 186.
No, it's 5 straight week 3s. His last 5 week 3s. 264 plus passing yards.
So we got a week 3 handicap. That's interesting.
That is an interesting one. I gotta try and see Deshaun Watson's game logs there because I want to see.
What though? I will say I love the Danny Jones understat. Trevor Lawrence did get 220 last week, but he only went 14 for 30. That's less than 50%.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott under 200 yards in a game where he should have exploded too. So I think for Daniel Jones, if they shut down Malik Neighbors, what are they going to do?
That's the thing, and no offense, Trevor Lawrence is bad. I think he's better than Danny Dimes. This is crazy. So last year against Tennessee at home, 289 yards for the misogynist. 2022, trying to see the game logs here.
Yeah, I'll leave it with this. I think this is a hammer spot for Cleveland. If you're that uncomfortable, it's a money line teaser, but I don't know if you even need it in this game. This just feels like a Giants trap where you're getting a lot of points with an already bad team. You're getting Cleveland at home, and in a weird non-conference spot with the Cowboys, I think they're significantly better than the Giants. By the way, that speaking of, the Giants have that look ahead to the Cowboys next week, I believe in prime time.
Jesus, this is wow. This might be I'm tempted. There's a couple bets I like. I really like this one. This could very well be close to a best bet. Yeah, I'm going to hammer this one. The trend lines actually say that this should be an over game. Strangely enough. Let me see. Got to pull it up here. The Browns have been playing over games. 5 of the last 6 have been over. I'm not getting on that side of it. I don't know if the Giants score in this game. Like, I have a feeling they're really going to struggle. I think Danny Dimes is really going to struggle, and it won't surprise me if he gets benched in this game. That's another reason why I like the under. I could very well see in the fourth quarter him getting benched. Like, I think the Browns are going to rout the Giants this week. Rout them.
How about this one for you? Under of the week. This is my under game. Last 10 non-conference games for the Giants, 1-9 towards the under.
Oh, okay. So reverse side for the G-men. Okay.
Yeah, Giants are terrible against AFC opponents, especially Danny Dimeball. He has not been good. And the Giants, like I said, the Giants offense, I don't know what they're going to do with that front four against Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to do if they shut down Malik Neighbors. I mean, Devin Singletary, he is who he is. I wouldn't even think about starting him as a cute DFS lineup, like to get the low salary. Wouldn't even go that far. I would just take Cleveland, and this is a -6.5 spot, but the under is the way to go.
Yeah. Singletary has scored a touchdown in 4 of his last 5 road appearances, but again, I think that's just a quirky number, and
yeah, but who was that with?
Necessarily one that I want to fuck with this week.
Yeah, that was with Houston and Buffalo. That wasn't with, you know.
I want no part of anything to do with the Giants in this game, because again, I know Cleveland's defense. They had a bad game and they had a decent game. But, I want nothing to do with the Giants. I'm not getting in front of them.
No, sir.
I actually think this might be our best handicap of the year. I really have a great feeling about this game.
This is going in the... Well, then we got to throw this in the DGent Corp. So it sounds like we're building one this week for the first time all year. We're moving on, though. We got another NFC non-conference game. Caleb Williams and his painted fingernails... They're 1.5 point road underdogs in a pick of -104 on the money line on FanDuel. They're traveling to the Indianapolis Colts to face off against Anthony Richardson. Over/under is set at 43.5, -112 on the money line for the Colts. Both teams coming off of losses. Both are young quarterbacks. I really don't know where to begin on this one. I'll start with this. In my heart of hearts, this is a bounce back spot for the Colts. I have no faith in this Bears team at this point in the season. The Bears have lost 4 of their last 6 against the Colts. If you actually go back all the way to 2004, they're going to be coming back home. And when I say they, I mean the Colts. The Colts will be coming back home, where I think Anthony Richardson has way more games at home than he does on the road. So I think those stats are a bit skewed. If somebody says, like, well, he performs better at home, it's like, well, I think it's like 5 games to 2. You know, I don't know if we have enough yet there. More importantly, though, for me, Caleb Williams is just showing me time and time again, he's not who people think he is. This guy, not only does he also have yet to throw a touchdown in his NFL career, the disdain this guy showed to CJ Stroud after that Sunday Night Football loss just reminded me of everything I fucking hated about this guy. He was a fucking mediocre college football scrub quarterback from USC. It was just the classy definition of a pure loser on all his mentality. He's all bark, no bite, and literally when he gets beat, and he gets beat like a fucking dog, he runs home to mommy and cries on her shoulder in the middle of the fucking stadium. And he just can't handle the pressure. And even though in the media, like, he kind of says all the right things, it's kind of sociopathic when you watch him, truthfully. Like, he says what you think you should hear, but there's, like, no emotion to it. You can tell he really doesn't believe it. And I don't know if he's just hiding who he truly is and, like, in some weird sort of denial, or if this is anger at the fact that he went to the Bears and he's just trying to make it work when really he's just fucking miserable. I don't know. I don't care. It's loser mentality either way. And I don't think he should be acting like hot shit because he's the number 1 overall pick. And look, you watch what Malik Willis did and Josh Jacobs did to this Colts defense. I understand if you wonder what the Bears are going to do to this Colts team. But this goes back to my recap. I think the Packers laid out a perfect game plan. Utilize the running back, minimize the quarterback opportunities to fail and turn the ball over. Keep Anthony Richardson off of the field. And even when Richardson is on the field, have him throw 3 interceptions. Do you see this Bears defense, as good as they may or may not be, being able to pull this off? I don't. I don't have any faith required to bet on this Bears team. And in 2 games, they've never outrushed their opponents.
You know offhand what the like breakdown is in terms of bet percentage? I'm curious. This is a tough game for me.
I could pull it real quick. I did have it. I don't know what happened to it, but I'll do that once I finish the handicap.
I feel like a lot of the sharps have been on Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, look, do you want to bet on a Bears team that's never outrushed their opponents yet all year, haven't been able to utilize DeAndre Swift properly? All their opponents have been AFC South opponents, both of which they've lost to. They haven't, they played them, but like, let's be honest, that fucking Titans game, was that really a good win? I don't think it was. They haven't really won much in the time of possession. I think that Titans game, they barely had it. Last week, they certainly didn't. And you have a quarterback who hasn't been able to produce points. He's only made mistakes. And for that reason, I'm also going on the under here at under 43.5. But for this bet to make sense, I think it's asinine. You're getting a pick'em game with Anthony Richardson at home. We know what he can do.
I know he is better at home.
I don't get it. Why is this a pick'em?
So this is where my new strategy of betting the underdogs is going to come into play. I'm betting against Indianapolis and on the Bears defense. But here's what I'll say. This is a forced sort of pick for our contest. I'll go Bears plus 1.5, which is what it is on our contest. Look, I think you tease this or nothing. I'm not, no offense. Like, I saw Indianapolis last week. They're not a good team. I saw them week 1. They got a block punt to keep it close. They're not a good team. Anthony Richardson struggled. I think this Bears defense is pretty good. I'll give you some of the trend lines in terms of the Bears off a loss. The Bears covered the spread as underdogs last 4 times following a loss. They've won their last 4 following a loss. They're a good team coming off a loss. I like the defense on the road. I like your play of an under. This feels like an under game to me, especially with the Bears defense and some of the Bears offensive struggles. I wish the Bears could run the ball, because if the Bears could run the ball, this would be a much stronger play. I don't like the fact that they can't. They have a lot of injuries to their wide receiver core, which I don't think helps either. This is a tough one. I hate to take the points here, but I told myself I'm going to bet a little differently this week. I'm going to take the points with the Bears. 58% of the betting public agrees to me, which means I'll lose.
So this does feel like a pros versus Joes game. Here's the problem. You said it yourself. They can't utilize the run. They haven't been able to utilize DeAndre Swift. Their wide receiving core is hurt. You have a quarterback who can't produce. I don't even get why you would put this in a teaser. I think this is a very, very bad play from you.
Yeah, I think this would be a pass for me, honestly. Like, if we didn't have the contest, I would pass. But, God, I just feel like the Bears defense is going to force, 3 turnovers and sack Richardson 5 times. I think
But I think even if they do that, can they stay on the field? Can the Bears keep Anthony Richardson off the field with that defense? That's really what it's going to come down to. Because the Packers
averaging 99 passing yards a game. Fuck me.
Yeah, and the Packers, they held Anthony Richardson to I think it was less than 20 minutes whole game.
Just think about that. The Bears passing game is worse than Bo Nix. That is worse than Bo Nix. 32nd in the league.
That's the line you want to bet on, or in the contest.
I don't want to bet on it. I have to go with my strategy.
Remember when you convinced me to take the Panthers plus 6.5?
I didn't convince you. Wait. What do you mean convince
All right.
Convinced you?
Remember when you flew through that? But remember when you threw that line at me when it was like, oh yeah, like plus 6.5, like that's the contest. Well, I'm telling you now, like this hasn't changed. Like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, this could make or break your contest for the week. Like, are you sure?
I just feel like the Bears defense is the best unit on the field. And I could be wrong, but I just, maybe I have too much faith in the Bears D. I feel like the Bears defense won a game themselves against Tennessee. They might need to win a game themselves. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, if the Colts were an underdog, would I bet the Colts? I just don't like Indianapolis. I haven't liked them all year. We'll see what happens. I don't think this is going to go very well.
Well, we're both on the under, so that's at least one thing we got going. So, yeah. I mean, we got 2 picks in lockstep. I'm keeping track of this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. Let me...
Hopefully something better.
Actually, I think it is better. It's the first AFC non-conference road game. We got the Houston Texans coming off the Sunday Night Football win. They're traveling as minus 1.5 point road favorites. Minus 130 on the money line. They're traveling to the space station, a.k.a. the Minnesota Vikings, who are a plus 110 dog. Plus 1.5 over-under is set. 45.5 points. Sam Darnold back at home against a Texans team who's 0-2 ATS this year. But they are both 2-0 teams. Vikings have been dead under teams as well so far this year. Money management, AFC side, let me throw the numbers at you real quick. Non-conference road favorites, there's only been 3 so far this year. 1-2 ATS, 2-1 money line. AFC non-conference road teams, 2-4 ATS and straight up in 6 games this year. So, money management, are we going with CJ Stroud and the Texans, or are you riding with a big dick Sam Darnold?
Well, public's on the Texans, and I have to say, I really, really, really want to fade the Vikings. God, I'm looking to fade the Vikings. But it's another one of those flowchart games. The Texans are bad as road favorites. They haven't covered 4 of their last 5 as road favorites. And we talked about that last year. That was a big thing with the Texans.
Yeah.
They didn't play as well as favorites. You look at it, too. The Vikings have won their previous 5 games against the Texans. And something else I just discovered. Mr. Justin Jefferson. You can call him the AFC South killer. Over 103 yards receiving in 4 straight games against the AFC South. Houston coming off Sunday Night Football, going on the road to Minnesota. I told myself, again, this is a strategy. Look for the dog and then play against it. You need a little bit more in the favorite's favor to play against it. I really want to fade Minnesota. I really do. I kind of feel like it's a week too early, though. The public's on the side of Houston. Houston's not as good as road favorites. I'm getting points with Minnesota. I'm not a big fan of Houston's defense. To tell you the truth, they didn't look great against the Colts. I didn't think, they did well against Chicago, but that's not an NFL quarterback. I'm trying to talk myself into betting Houston, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick firm with what I'm trying to do this week. I'm finally, I think, on the sharp side because I think the Vikings have suddenly become a Sharps darling play this week. Jefferson's injury does scare me a little, although I do know that he expects to be back for the game, and he did practice with the quad. Aaron Jones, full practice. Really, Jordan Addison's the big one missing. I'm trying to see. Joe Mixon didn't practice, so he's probably out. Damon Pierce didn't practice. Nico Collins had a limited practice, so some injury issues to the Texans. Okay, I've convinced myself. I'm going with the Vikings plus the points here. Let me be a sharp for one of these picks and try and be on the right side of a game.
This is a game for me where you go back to fundamentals, and this is what the fundamentals tell me. The history, like you said, 5-0 for the Vikings. That's all time.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud on the road is only 5-5 straight up in ATS. How about versus the NFC? 0-4 ATS in his last 4 matchups. How about the Texans as a non-conference road team against the NFC? 0-2 straight up. This, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is my dog of the week,
wow,
the Minnesota Vikings. This sounds like the spot you would want to fade Sam Darnold because he did come off that win against San Francisco. There's another coordinator I have to give credit for that I didn't give credit for in the recap episode last Wednesday. Brian Flores, a guy that I personally shat on all last year about how terrible Minnesota's defense was, how it cost them a lot of games last year. Not only is he coming off a strong performance stopping Daniel Jones, which, let's be honest, that took less effort than wiping my ass. Brock Purdy, who, I don't think it's fluky, but you could, considering how everybody got hurt in that game. Really, what it comes down to, though, was he put up a defensive scheme that outcoached and outperformed Kyle Shanahan. And that, in and of itself, to me, is impressive. I think the Texans' offense, too, they're not really as spectacular as we might think. They sort of had to play catch-up against the Colts. We kind of forget that in week 1. The Bears was like a fumble cost them a big cover. But let's be honest, I think the Vikings, if they do lose to the Niners, what's this line? Had Houston covered, is this line going to be more inflated towards their side? Is that still the right side, even if it is? To me, no. I think the Vikings are the right side to begin with. And I'm still going to get plus money at them at home. They've won 3 of their last 4 as home underdogs, I think, outright. So, yeah, give me fucking Vikings money line here, dog of the week. Because I don't really think Sam Darnold has to do anything spectacular here. I think he just has to do enough.
Yeah. Wow, bold play. It is the sharp play, though. I heard a couple sharps being on this side of the game. Kind of a hard one. I'm curious. What do you think over under? I'm looking here, and let's see.
We're in a dome, so over.
Yeah, 4 of the Vikings' last 5 as underdogs have gone over the total.
Ooh, love that. Yeah, non-conference games. I'm trying to look at the trends here to see if anything pops up since, I'm looking at right now since 2022. Houston looks like a dead under at 4-7, but those are different quarterbacks and different regimes, so.
Oh, another one to the over. Houston, 4 of their last 5 against Minnesota have gone over.
There you go. Yeah,
so we got a double trend for the over here.
Well, you have 2 dome teams back in a dome. And I think that's going to play into that. I don't know how much it really goes over by, but this is an over game for me. So over 47.5. Love the Vikings here. I think it is the sharp play. It's the better move. And you know me, I don't like playing non-conference road favorites.
Yeah,
never have.
They're in Wong teaser potential going through the 3 and the 7.
Oh yes, sir. That's right.
Oh baby, are we gonna do better with our Wong teaser this week?
We might. I might star the plus 2.5, but I might leave that as a contingency. So we'll get back to that later. All right, next up, it's the first regular NFC game. The Philadelphia Eagles, coming off that Monday night disaster in the last 40 seconds, they're 2.5-point road underdogs now, plus 130 on the money line, traveling to the New Orleans Saints, minus 2.5-point road home favorites, minus 154 on the money line. Over under is set 49.5. Saints dominant right now in the NFC, 2-0 straight up in ATS, 2 on the over. Eagles 1-1 straight up and money and spread 1-1 towards the over under. This line flipped. The Eagles were favored originally on the look ahead. The line now flipped to the Saints being favored.
Getting steamed.
Yeah. I think it's my turn. I don't really have a whole lot here, but here's what I will say. You have a Philly team coming off a Monday night loss where they should have won. You have the Saints, who are looking like a number 1 NFC team, supposedly, with Gary Kubiak at coordinator. which I think is great, and a Derek Carr leading on offense. And you want me to take the Saints as a home favorite against somebody not the Carolina Panthers or Atlanta Falcons. I should take my chances here and take this Philly team. I just think if I do that, it's going to bite me in the ass tremendously. And it just looks like a terrible bet. A.J. Brown, we saw this Eagles team without him. They can't get the deep ball. The Eagles struggle more than they already have been on offense.
Yeah. And A.J.
Saints,
Brown did not practice. C.J. Gardner-Johnson did not practice.
Not that it matters. He fucking Mr. Blown Coverage, C.J. Gardner-Johnson blows the fucking game. He could go. He can go. Like I wouldn't be mad.
C.J. Sia.
C.J. Sia. Yeah, Saints have also won 5 of their last 6 at home against Philly. If you go back to 2019, that was against the Drew Brees era Saints, though. You have the Derek Carr as a favorite angle, which I think me and you both hate, but really I think it's a Dennis Allen as a favorite we tend to hate, but they've gone 4-0 straight up in ATS in the last 4. I was going to take the Eagles, but I changed my pick. I'm actually going Saints here, -2.5. Although, like, this reminds me a lot of the Patriots, where I'm just like, when am I going to get caught with my pants down on this fucking Saints team with Derek Carr? I just have a bad feeling I'm going to get trapped one of these days, and I'm just wondering if this is it. But I just think that if this was a healthy Eagles team, that would make more sense, but this isn't the spot. Like, the more I look at it, I just don't have faith in the Eagles team to show up here. And even if it is close, like, I could just see the Saints being good with, like, Gary Kubiak could string up something and keep it close and make it a 3-point game.
Yeah, I will say, Saints are another team I really want to fade. I really want to fade the Saints. But you mentioned the injuries. My thing is the Eagles' defense is just really bad. They're getting no pressure. The Saints' offensive line has been the best in football, allowing 1 sack per game on average. The Eagles' defense, 23rd, tied for 23rd, just over a sack and a half a game. They've gotten no pressure. They got completely torched in Philly last week. And listen to some of these numbers here. When it comes to the Eagles, 6 straight losses as underdogs against the NFC. They're also bad in the first half, too. 6 straight first half losses as underdogs following a loss. And what I'm looking at here, another little fun one, Rashid Shaheed, over 65 receiving yards in 4 straight following a win, and his number's 49.5 -120. So this could be another, and especially against this burnt toast Philly defense, this could be another Rashid Shaheed 70-yard touchdown game.
How about this prop for you? Because this was something I kept my eye on, and I think the number went up. Derek Carr, 3 passing touchdowns, plus 370.
You could make the case. I mean,
you could bet the latter.
Here's my fear with that, my one fear with that. There are some trends that the Eagles, let's see, last 5 Philly road games have gone to the under. Although, strangely enough, 4 of the Saints' last 5 games in total have gone over. So they've been an over team to start the year. I don't really feel strongly about this one. I feel like the number's too high. I would be looking to the over because I think the Eagles' defense is just bad.
The Eagles' defense is bad. The Saints have been averaging 40-plus points a fucking game.
But I don't know if I want to fuck with that. I don't know if I want to fuck with that in this game, though. To tell you
How about Saints total points over? So they've been averaging 40 points a game? Guess what their point line total's at?
What?
25.5.
Wow. Yeah. I think that's a different way to play the Saints if you don't want to play the -2.5 or -3 or whatever. I'm gonna go with the Saints here. Again, I feel like the same with Minnesota. I want to fade them, but I feel like this isn't the week. Eagles
No.
are banged up. They're missing A.J. Brown. They're missing C.J. Burnt Toast Johnson. And coming off a short rest, that's not a good spot for.
Bro, I think I have our best bet for this game. Saints first half spread -1.5.
Yeah. Okay. I'm there.
Let me jot that down.
Yeah, especially too coming off the Monday night game where they lost at the end like that, and they're bad as underdogs, and they've lost 6 straight first halves as underdogs following a loss. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's I'll make this my first half bet of the week. Saints -1.5 first half. Yeah, that looks good.
There we go. All right.
That sounds like money. I might bet that straight. That sounds.
You know what? I think I am going to go do that.
Sounds like a slam fucking dunk.
God, that does sound good. You know what? I think you're going to talk me into betting it right now.
Well, I'm getting a feeling this may be a good week. I think we got the shit out of the way, the plastic bag. I'm going to need to whenever we get together next. It's going to be Cine time. Bring the incinerator. Kill the incinerator. Get it ready.
You got it. Yeah, this is going to be Saints first half. That has to be a play. All right. Yeah. I will say the incinerator, it is good for incinerating the undesirables and the bad bets. It does help cleanse the palate a little bit. All right, next up, we got the first AFC matchup this week. It is the Los Angeles Chargers. They are now 3-point road underdogs. Traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers, +132 on the money line. Steelers -156, -3. Over-under still set at 34.5, so no movement there. With the announcement that Justin Herbert might not be playing, Easton Stick may be coming in here. You had the breaking news earlier. I don't remember if Herbert was limited and his ankle was messed up or what happened there, but...
Yeah, he's got an ankle injury. They're talking about the potential of Easton Stick playing. He was limited participant at practice. Joey Bosa, limited participant.
Gotcha.
Trying to see if there's anyone who didn't practice that was of importance. Not really. Josh Palmer maybe is the only one who didn't practice.
Okay. 2-0 straight up in ATS for both these teams. Both of them are dead under teams. 2 on the under. The Chargers getting 57% of the bets and 57% of the money. So slight lean towards the Chargers. Boy, oh boy, money mansman. Easton Stick potential. That almost sounds like doubles for Drew territory here. And they're only getting 3. Justify this for me,
Get erased for Easton? I don't know. I can't think of a good E one.
Erased for Easton? I mean, we'll start with that.
For Easton? I don't know.
I mean...
Is it my turn?
I think it is. Evicted for Easton? I mean...
Oh, by the way, the contest is -1.5, so I think we know which side we're going with for the contest here. For the Keister contest. It's real simple. This kind of feels like a free roll with the Steelers because if Herbert plays, he's going to be limited, and I think the Steelers are probably going to have a good chance to win. Anyway, you look at the Chargers, 8 straight losses as underdogs following a win. First half losses as underdogs, 7 straight. The Steelers are normally a better team to bet on as underdogs. I will say that, but 2 dead under teams. I think the only thing that changes this, Russell Wilson plays. Like I think if Justin Fields plays, they keep it conservative. I think the Steelers have a really good chance. And we talked about it, TJ Watt on the field. Like if he's on the field not hurt, this is a different Steelers defense. They're tied for 3rd against the run on defense. You know they're going to be playing the run. I like what the Chargers have done. I think it's time to fade the Chargers, and I think even at like 3, anything less than 3 or less, I mean, if you're getting Easton Stick, it's basically a free roll. Like that's pretty much a 7-point game. Easy, I think. So to me, the Steelers are really the only way to look. And I know the under is ridiculously low, but God, I mean, 16-3. Like, we saw the Steelers play this game last week, and now they're at home playing the Chargers with potentially a backup quarterback. I don't know if this under could get low enough.
Yeah, I don't think it could, but I think it really does depend on whether you are getting a Russell Wilson or not. I mean, I made the argument during the recap, which was like, even with Denver and as bad as he was there, 21 points per game versus 14 without him. A whole last touchdown could make or break this over under here at 34.5. I've been 0-2 on Chargers games this year, fading them. I might have to make this 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
Best bet, favorite of the week, give me the Steelers -3.
I can't blame you. It's like we said. I mean, it's a free roll. Like, there's no negative at this point.
I couldn't find one, and I bet it at -1.5. I may go back and bet it at 3. I haven't decided if I'm gonna wait till it gets up to 3.5, 4, and try to hedge just to see if I can middle. But I'll let you know if I do that. This is not a Steelers team I want to bet on here. I don't want to ride the public with the Chargers as a road underdog. Like, they're going into their second road game with a look ahead against Kansas City. They're coming off of a win, and they're coming off of a win where, what did they do? They pounded the rock against a Carolina defense. And they literally turned on Bryce Young. That's not the greatest win of all time. And they didn't really get to be honest with you, they didn't really get a great win against the Raiders either. And you're going to now go up against the Steelers front four with TJ Watt, arguably the best in the league, despite the fact they've only gone up against Kirk Cousins and Bo Nix. Like, you watch this Chargers offense, it is a Jim Harbaugh offense. Pound the rock, run the ball. What are the Steelers really good at? Stopping the run. They fucking decimated the Broncos running back core. They decimated the fucking Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson. You really think J.K. Dobbins, coming off 2 bullshit defense performances, is gonna fucking be able to do what he's been doing against the Steelers? Probably the one thing I did miss in my handicap, I didn't look up J.K. Dobbins' numbers against the Steelers. So I'm going to pull that up real quick, but I just don't. Yeah, here we go. So 3 games. Actually, holy shit, that actually is kind of shocking. Fuck, that may ruin everything. 93, 120, 113 in 3 games where he was with the Ravens.
Yeah, but I'm gonna kind of fade that because
yeah,
it's interesting. The Chargers, 5 of the last 6 games have gone over when playing Pittsburgh, but that's why sometimes you got to learn what numbers to fade, because like, I'm not going over in this game. Like, and even with Dobbins over, like, the Steelers need to stop the run. I mean, whether it's a limited Herbert or Easton Stick. And honestly, considering the fact they have the look ahead against the Chiefs, why even play Herbert? Let Herbert rest before the Chiefs game.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you there. And they've actually, I think, pretty much taken all the Chargers lines out right now, I think, until they know what's going on. Yeah. But this just feels like a game where, like, if I'm looking at rushing attempts, and honestly, too, like, I think if you're looking for, you have to start J.K. Dobbins if it's fantasy. You have to, but if I'm looking at DFS, I think I'm looking elsewhere. I don't think I'm looking at starting a J.K.
Oh, yeah.
This price is going to be way too high. Rather, I think I'd play the Steelers defense for less money than I would for a J.K. Dobbins running back.
And I 100%, when this is going to be a game that I really want to bet it later, because I want to throw a same game in with whoever the quarterback is and bet them under for the Chargers, because I just feel like the Chargers are going to completely run the
Yeah.
ball, whoever it is.
All Chargers rushing props have been pulled. So
Which is surprising because I thought they might stay, but okay. We'll have to see. This will be maybe a spread play. I guess the one risk is if Herbert plays, the line's going to go down. You were smart to play it at 1.5 earlier, but even at 3, I feel like the Steelers, even with Herbert, could cover this. So.
Yeah, if I even get a sniff that Herbert's playing, I'll probably try to middle it at +3. But if it's looking like Easton Stick, I'll hit it and just see how high it can get, and I may ladder bet it. You know, I think I might ladder bet it now. And just see what happens, like do a trial run here. For those of you at home who don't know what a ladder bet is, it's when you take like a spread or points total, and you take like a 10 unit, like you take 10 units, for example. So let's just say, for example, like $100. So your first bet is going to be like the money line. You may put 2 units on it. And then just for each individual ladder where you're going up a point, just throw another unit. So like instead of -1.5, you go 2.5, throw $10. Throw another 10 on 3.5, 4.5, 5, and just keep building that ladder. So
interesting one. Justin Fields, 45+ rushing yards in 4 straight home games. Wondering if Justin Fields rushing might be playing this game. It's a tough one to predict props.
I wouldn't. I would bet under personally, but I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, what do we got next?
Fucking hell. It's my Denver Broncos. Non-conference road underdog, +6.5 on the spread, +245 on the money line. They're traveling to Baker's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're -300 favorite at home, -6.5. Over-under is set at 40.5 points. Baker and the Bucks are 2-0 straight up in ATS, 1-1 over-under. Broncos 0-2 money line, 1-1 ATS, 1-1 on the over-under. I think I have to double check, but I think a lot of the sharp money is going on Tampa here.
A lot of the money, period. 81% of the bets on Tampa. The open was 3.5. It's now 6.
Oh, God. My turn too, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's your team, buddy. What do you got?
All right. Look, I really, really hate betting against the Sharps.
Oh, boy.
I really hate betting against the Sharps.
Is it going to be 2 cities in a row? 2 cities?
I know the spot is ugly. I know this number is not ideal.
Oh, boy.
You have a ride or die here on this pick. It's Tampa -6.5. Denver should be the smarter play here. And I really believe if this was any other team in this spot besides like Carolina or the Giants, you take the 6.5. Tampa is coming off of a clutch win in Detroit. And no matter how much Jared Goff drove the ball down the field, they struggled so hard in the end zone where in 7 trips, they only managed 16 points and 1 touchdown. You have Denver, who's coming off 2 really bad losses that ended within 6 to 7 points each. This is a class relief on the D-line. No Vita Vea on the D-line for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And Denver historically has actually done very well against Tampa. They're 7-3 straight up all time. The last time they played was 2016, where they did beat Tampa. But they are 2 entirely different franchises since that point. And my problem really isn't so much that I don't have faith in Denver to show up in this spot. Quite frankly, I think that, like, compared to the last 2 games, we may get a Bo Nix touchdown here. The Broncos might be able to show the good sides of their team against this Tampa Bay team. They are going up against a Tampa team at home with a very typical Mount St. Mary's alumni, Todd Bowles, game manager fashion, where I don't think they're going to drive up the score. I don't think they're really going to even be crazy and run the ball all that often. They just need to have a game like they did against Washington in week 1. Have Baker air the ball out on this defense, who hasn't really been tested that much in the air, and get Denver's offense out there that still hasn't gotten themselves together. You're getting Baker Mayfield and the Bucks that do have a rapport. And the Bucks are 4-1 ATS against AFC teams with Baker Mayfield. They're 1-0 as home favorites.
Yeah.
I actually again, there are sharps that are all over Denver this week. And as a Broncos fan, I can't do it. I actually can't do it so much. It's my survivor pick. I'm taking Tampa to win for my survivor.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I'm going to do it. Best bet, Tampa.
Damn.
There's a -6 on DK. Here's the thing. So there is one trend against us. Sean Payton is very good at ATS week 3. Here's the problem, though. Todd Bowles' defense, very good against rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We've seen Bo Nix struggling. He's now going on the road against the Todd Bowles defense that thrives against rookie quarterbacks.
Mike McGlinchey, guard, is also hurt.
Who's hurt?
Starting guard, Mike. I think it's Mike McGlinchey. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He picked up
Mike McGlinchey. Sorry, Mike McGlinchey.
He picked up that knock at the end of last week's game. But I don't see him listed on this injury report. JFM has a concussion. I don't really see anyone. Brandon Browning didn't practice. I don't know if he's any good.
Oh, starting linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
Antoine Whitfield and Vita Vea didn't practice for Tampa.
Vita Vea is probably not starting.
That's probably good for you. I just think too much Mike Evans, too much Godwin, and
that's what happened to the Lions. I mean, when they stopped Mike Evans, they went to Godwin. When they stopped Godwin this week, they're going to Mike Evans.
I think Evans has a very good game. I mean, listen to some of these. Baker Mayfield, over 283 passing yards in his last 4 home games. His number's 236. Now, I don't know if I'm going with that one. Listen to this one. Mike Evans, 4 straight games with 70-plus receiving yards against AFC opponents.
Jesus Christ.
And PS2 has not been that great this year. Like PS2,
yeah, he got fucking paid. He got fucking paid and decided he didn't have to care as much.
Broncos defense 4th against the pass, but remember who they've played. They played Seattle, and they played the Steelers, who didn't even throw the ball. So I think this is going to be a much different test for them. And yeah, I don't think anything really favors Denver here. I'm going Tampa. Curious over/under spot. The Bucs have actually been an over team at home. So, and also too, Broncos, 6 of their last games against the NFC have gone over, including that Seattle game, I think went over. So yeah, I'd probably lean over here. I think Tampa's going to score a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if they put up a 30 spot.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. This is an over game for me. I'm curious to see what the team totals are for this matchup in particular, because I would actually surprisingly, like, if you want to do a weird like counterplay, Bucks -6.5, but maybe the Broncos over on the points. Because again, I think this is class relief on the D line for the Broncos. I think if Bo Nix even gets like a whole second difference, we may see him throw a touchdown.
Broncos basically at like 16.5. Or at least
16.5 on DK -1.
That's a loss for them.
Yeah,
I would much rather, if you want to play a team total, 23.5 for the Bucks. Boy, oh boy, that seems light.
Yeah, I could do that. Light. Yeah, I would do that. That does sound.
There's a 40.5 on FanDuel. Oh baby. Oh baby.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Tampa Bay team total. I'll jot it down. I don't know if that will go in, but I love that. That does seem relatively.
Wait a minute, I might have seen another Bo Nix over under 185 passing yards for this week.
Oh my God, that's it. That's an over. He'll get the yards. The question is, does he get the points? And he's been passing the ball. Like, people kind of forget. He's got, like, the most attempts as a rookie quarterback so far this year, like, by a mile.
Trying to see his game log. Has he gotten that yet?
Yeah, he got over 200 yards last week.
He did against Pittsburgh.
Bro, this is a dead over.
I must have been, like, hammered because I don't remember that at all. I guess I was looking forward to my
garbage.
federal stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was garbage time.
Yeah, that's the one fear. He might get garbage again. And Tampa's not really a running team. I think I'd probably look more Tampa overs than Broncos unders.
Fair enough. I'm over 40.5 here, though. I think Tampa, between the two teams, they'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Tampa. Best bet. I think Tampa is going to cruise in this game.
All right. Moving on. Last 1 o'clock game, according to this schedule I have here. Yep. Green Bay Packers plus 2.5-point road dogs coming off the win against the Colts. Plus 120. They're now traveling to the Tennessee Titans. 0-2 straight up in ATS. Will Levis getting a third shot. He's a 2.5-point home favorite, minus 142, and the over-under is 38.5. Listen to this story. Will Levis comes into the press conference basically saying he had to change his phone number, and that's why nobody could get a hold of him, and why they've been having some delays on things. And they were like, well, why'd you have to change your number? Turns out somebody out in the internet world leaked Will Levis's phone number out to the public, and he was getting messages from everybody telling him how bad he sucked and how much he's a wasted opportunity and how he needs to get benched as the Titans quarterback. Meanwhile, it looks like Jordan Love has a shocking potential to start this week. And the Packers are 2.5-point road underdogs.
There's a thread on DraftKings, by the way.
Yeah. Yikes. I'll remind you, NFC non-conference road teams, 3-1 ATS. Road underdogs in general, 3-4 ATS, 2-5 money line.
I mean, you could say that Will Levis's phone number got intercepted.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't have fumbled his security.
Yeah. He should have held on to that information a little tighter.
Yeah, he should have held on to that information and maybe not try and pitch it back.
Yeah. Oh no, maybe the Titans had it and tried to punt it, and then it just got blocked. You know, 2 straight games block punts. 2 straight.
Oh boy, yeah. So this is an interesting one. 6 of the last 7 Titans games against the NFC opponents have gone under, but strangely enough, the over has hit in 7 of the last 8 Green Bay road games. And they've been a dead over team, Green Bay and Tennessee, when playing each other. So this is actually a dead over matchup. Not necessarily something I want to bet on, especially if there's no Jordan Love. Maybe if Jordan Love plays, I'd be more inclined to do so. Yeah, here's the thing. Tennessee right now, they're on auto fade until they show me otherwise. This team should not be catching points ever. And I hear a lot of sharks. Tennessee is a good play this week. Not for me. I get it. I'm on the public side. I'm going with Barney at the bar. I don't know what else to say. I am not betting this Titans team as a favorite. They done nothing to deserve being a favorite. Nothing. They lost to Chicago, who didn't score an offensive touchdown, and then proceeded to give the game away to the Jets. Green Bay is a well-coached team. I have no faith in Will Levis at all. I would predict, you saw what this Packers team did to Richardson last week. So this Packers defense is still good. I would not surprise. I don't know what the Will Levis to throw an interception is, but I don't know. I might be looking at that. To give you an idea, Packers, 3 turnovers forced a game. Tennessee, 2.5 turnovers a game on offense.
Well, I have a shocking number for you. Titans last 10 against the NFC North, 7-3 straight up.
Don't care. They lost
Don't
to
care.
Chicago without scoring a touchdown. I don't care. I'm not betting Tennessee. I'm not betting them. I'm just not. They're not good. They're terrible. Like, they're not good.
Well, I haven't given a pick out yet. I actually didn't handicap it, but I think you convinced me, and I'm going with it. Over of the week, over 36.5 points here, because if Jordan Love does start, this over is a slam dunk. But Titans versus NFC, I think you gave the number dead over. I think it's 7-3 on the over as well against NFC opponents. It's been crazy. Look, here's the thing. The Titans defense is the big question. Malik Willis got away with letting Josh Jacobs take the reins on offense and getting a win. They kept Anthony Richardson off the field. I think the Titans are gonna have an idea of what they're gonna try and do. And the Titans rush defense, I think, as much as they are gonna have to step up, they do seem better than the Colts. So I see why a lot of sharps are on it, but I'm with you. I can't bet the Titans here. It does seem like a wrong team favored spot. It is a Chewbacca game in a sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand why Chewbacca is going on in Tennessee right now after they just lost 2 shit games back to back. I can't do it either. And it's crazy because I want to. This was like game 3 where I'm like, I want to hit Tennessee. I want to be right about Tennessee. I want to make money off Tennessee. And it's just like, I don't learn my lesson from last year where I just constantly lost money betting on Tennessee. I'm done. Like, I'm not doing it.
The Sharps are still waiting for them. The Sharps, that's the one problem with the Sharps.
No, it's a sharp square. This is a sharp square play.
Don't agree that they're wrong. And I feel like with Tennessee, I keep hearing 2 phony finals. Tennessee is better than their record. They're better than their stats. Will Levis, minus 145 to throw an interception. Minus 145.
Oh, God. So they're saying it's more... You're looking at a 50... Let's just say a 55% clip.
Bro,
This guy's going to turn the ball over.
They're like, yeah, he's got a 60% chance to throw a pick. 60.
And will that ruin the game? It did the last 2 weeks. Why wouldn't it happen here? Yeah, that would be my same game parlay. I'd put Packers to win, Will Levis to throw a pick. I'd even be cute, and like if I really wanted to get ballsy, Titans first half. Do you think Will Levis doesn't?
They are good in the first half at home.
I do Titans first half, Packers to win. You really want to get ballsy and cute? That would be my play. Because Titans could fucking have the lead. They could be very close in the first half, and then the minute Will Levis turns the ball over, they're done.
See, it's not traditional. God, I would love to call this my fade of the week. I'm so tired of hearing the fucking Sharps. I'm not doing it. It isn't, but I want it to be.
Actually,
even though you can't really fade in Owens. God, I'm so sick of hearing about the Sharps. Tennessee, phony final, phony. No, Tennessee's a phony team. They turn the ball over and lose. That's what they do. That's what this team does.
Yeah, I can't back it either.
I agree with the over because I could see Levis turning the ball over on the 5-yard line and then getting an easy score. So yeah, I'll go over too.
And to give you credit too, this was going to be my fade of the week, but you kind of gave me shit for my last one, so I'm kind of trying to be a little bit smarter with how I designate a fade.
You like fade teams that have won.
I like to fade teams that are a favorite that shouldn't be.
And the public is 80% on the Packers.
Yeah, that's the problem too. It's this is not a good fade team because the public is on the side of the Packers. The Sharps are on the side of the Titans, and it's the Titans are favored. Why? It should be a fade of the week, but there's actually another game. And again, you may give me shit for why it's a fade of the week, but when I give my argument, I think you will understand the justification. And hopefully I don't get too much shit from the people.
I think if you think hard enough, you could guess what game I'm going to fade, what team I'm going to fade.
All right. Well, are we ready to jump to the 4:00 games?
Yes, let's go. We're making
4 o'clock.
decent time, actually. We're doing okay.
Good.
Hang in
Let's
there.
rock and roll. 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. Boy, oh, did this line just jump? It sure shit did. The Las Vegas Raiders laying 6.5 points as home favorites with Gardner Minshew coming off the win against the Ravens. They're hosting the Andy Dalton-led Carolina Panthers. Plus 225 on the money line for the Panthers. Plus 6.5. Over-under is set 39.5 points. Vegas is getting 70% of the money. 78% of the bets. My go?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this right here. This is disgusting. And I already know I'm going to get shit. This is the fate of the week. Why are the Sharps, why are people busting their load over the fact that Andy Dalton is now the starter? Why? Seriously. Carolina is still on auto fade. I don't care about Andy Dalton. Let me get this straight. This fucking red dog wiener prick couldn't start for fucking New Orleans before Derek Carr. He couldn't start for the Chicago Bears when they had Mitch Trubisky. And last year, when they had Bryce Young, 2 years ago, when they had fucking Baker Mayfield, he couldn't start for the Panthers then. And I don't care that Bryce Young's the number 1 overall pick. We had to start Bryce Young. You have to get him reps. No, I don't care about that logic. You still opted to start Bryce Young over Andy Dalton. And I'm going to make this point on Vitrell's show, the Dyna Pros podcast. Look, two things can be true at the same time, folks. Andy Dalton can be an upgrade at quarterback. He could be a good streamer for fantasy. That doesn't mean the Panthers are a good fucking team to bet. There's a difference between fantasy football and gambling. The Carolina Panthers are not bettable in my eyes. I don't care what the trends say. I don't care what cute lines anybody has to throw me. I don't know what anybody else wants to bring to support Carolina here. They were so historically bad with Bryce Young. Why are we all of a sudden acting like Andy Dalton is the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of the Carolina Panthers? This is where quarterbacks go to die. And Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield had to be rescued out of this organization. And look how well they're doing now. You're telling me Andy Dalton, 5-10 in road games since leaving Cincinnati. 3-7 just in his last 10. But there are sharp bettors and there are people advertising Carolina plus 6.5 because it's the Raiders? Really? Are you fucking sure? Because remember the last time Andy Dalton started and we heard the same fucking line against the Seahawks and they fucking blew the brakes off of them? 31.
Oh my God. Yeah, that one hurt.
Folks, what the fuck are we doing thinking that Carolina is now bettable? They're not. Not until proven otherwise. Fade of the week. Vegas Raiders minus 6.5. Locking it in. This is absurd.
It's funny because I really wanted to. I saw this number and I'm like, God, the Raiders are a big favorite. I like
37-27 was the final. 37-27.
And then you just reminded me of that bullshit. And I just feel like the Raiders are going to run the freaking air out of the ball. Their coach was already talking about how Zamir White isn't getting the ball enough. 5 straight covers as home favorites for the Las Vegas Raiders. The only thing that gets me afraid is normally the team gets that bump when there's a new starting quarterback, but you're 100% right. I played Andy Dalton in the same spot last year. Oh, yeah, 6.5. That's a good number. And then they fucking lost by 10.
Yeah,
I have a feeling they're going to lose by 10 again.
And listen, like I said, two things can be true. Andy Dalton on the fantasy side, the receiving core for Carolina, that's 100% in play. Dalton had 361 passing yards in his last game, 2 touchdowns, no picks. fucking phenomenal fantasy streamer. Adam Thielen had his 11 catch, 145 yards with a touchdown. If you're like me, I'm looking forward to a similar performance against the suspect Raiders defense. I think that's fucking awesome. Do I think they're going to win? Do I think they're going to cover a touchdown? No, I don't. The Raiders are the more well-organized team. They are going to pound the rock. They still have the front four with Max Crosby fucking up.
Yeah. Now, he was limited in practice with an ankle, but I'm not too worried about Christian Wilkins. Like, the limited practice is not great. I think Shy Tuttle is a big loss for Carolina. I forget who it was. They lost the big defensive tackle in the middle of that defense. Or maybe it was Ashawn Robinson, who they think isn't going to play. I heard it on HDPN. They were talking about a defensive tackle that wasn't going to play. That's going to be big. God, I just have a feeling that the Raiders are going to run the shit out of the ball. And I don't know if Carolina is going to be able to stop it. And this defense, you see what the Raiders did to Lamar last week. Now, it is a letdown spot for them coming off a big win, but they're going home, and they've been good. They've been very good as home favorites recently. So
now, and I will say, like, the Carolina Panthers, like, I guess they were a close your eyes special, which means they underperformed by like I think it's like 30, like the week one, and then as a dog again, they fucking got waxed. Don't want to hear it. That's how historically bad they are right now.
Yeah,
I want no parts.
You're 100% right. You saved me from a bad bet because I remember I bet Andy Dalton in the same fucking spot last year and lost by 10 and was so pissed off. I was so angry. I'm like, motherfucker. I had such a sharp play. I'm like all the sharps. I had such a sharp play. Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders. I was high on the Raiders to start the year. I got them over 6.5. These are the types of games they need to win for me to hit my bet. So let's go for the old man, the Raiders.
Let's go. Oh, God, the Raiders. Your old man chain smoking in the living room. Derek fucking Carr. Derek fucking Carr. You fucking suck.
That's about you got it. But they have under 40. Panthers' last 5 games against AFC opponents have gone under. I don't know what I think about it.
Andy Dalton starting, I'm going over.
It's weird because 10 of their last 13 have gone under, but 5 of their last 7 against the Raiders have gone over in Vegas. Or just while playing Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, but like again, you have a dome stadium, no weather to affect it. It's Andy Dalton. There's going to be a spark in offense. I think you're going to see more than 6 points from this Panthers team.
I'd probably lean over here tentatively.
Yeah, this is an over, and especially like I think my spreadsheet says 39.5. That's what FanDuel has. So 40 points. I mean, what is this? 27-13. That hits. I can see that. But really, to me, this is like a 31-20 game. Where it's like
maybe
31.
Carolina gets a late score. Make it look close.
Yeah. That's where I'm getting with this. Finally, next up, we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. And you're going to need to correct me if I'm wrong here. Skylar Thompson being prepared to start at quarterback for the Dolphins. Minus 210 for the Seahawks. Geno minus 4.5. Home favorite. Over under set at 42.5. Seattle 0-2 on the spread. 2-0 straight up though. 2-0 on the over. Dolphins 0-2 ATS. 2 towards the under. 1-1 on their record. Coming off that Thursday night loss on the Bills with the extra rest. And by the way, first stat for you. Losing teams coming off of Thursday Night Football, it's 0-1 straight up in ATS. The 1-0 in the over. And actually, very interestingly enough, I didn't bring this up earlier, a lot of teams coming off of prime time, the winning teams especially, are 0-1 straight up in ATS so far this year. So, with that said, we have a very peculiar situation with a Skylar Thompson, Geno Smith.
Boy, Kenneth Walker didn't practice again. Could be another Charbonnet. No. Could be another Charbonnet game.
Mansman, I'm going to lean on you for this one. I didn't really get a good grip on this game, but I have a feeling I know where I'm going.
So the numbers for Seattle as favorites have been very bad. They haven't covered their last 7. They're not a good team as favorites. Here's why I'm going against that. Number 1, 5 straight wins at home against the AFC East. Number 2, and this is another one where the Sharps are all over Miami. Skylar Thompson, he started a playoff game. Skylar Thompson is not good. This Miami team...
Wasn't that game against the Bills?
I mean, I guess the only thing you could really say is, well, Seattle coming off overtime. Maybe they're tired. But to me, at least, I don't want to back Skylar Thompson as a road underdog of less than a touchdown in Seattle. I don't want to do it. Interestingly enough, Tyreek Hill, over 77 receiving yards in 11 straight against the NFC. That record may be broken. I actually like this to be an under game, to tell you the truth, which doesn't normally, that's not the best thing if you're looking to play the favorite. I don't know. I just can't get behind Skylar Thompson, even though they have had additional rest. That's tough after getting shellacked by Buffalo to go to Seattle. I know Seattle haven't been good at its home favorites, but I really don't like the spot for Miami. And it's a tough one. I know I should be leaning the dog. This one's probably going to be the one that gets me, but I just don't want to back Skylar Thompson. This is another one that feels like, oh, a sharp play, and then it's going to be 27-13 Seattle, and you're going to feel like a donkey. So I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah. I'm with you. This is a Seattle or nothing play for me, and literally it's Seattle or I'm not betting this. Skylar Thompson had 2 starts in his career. He did go 1-1. You know what that 1 win was? Week 18 against the Jets.
Yep.
They won 11-6.
Yeah, I can't.
The other game he started, 7 for 13, 89 passing yards, 1 rush attempt for 9 yards, 16-24 loss to the Vikings. In the game he took over against the Jets the first time, he went 19 for 33, 1 pick. We're going to take 4.5. That's the number. 7.5 with Skylar Thompson. I think about it. Maybe 4.5. Is this a Barney Bester where I just don't? I close my eyes and don't think about it. And
the Barney Bester might be the Barney Bester.
I mean, the Dolphins also did underperform as a favorite by 20+ the week before, so I am curious. Now they're a dog.
Is it a close your eyes? Close your eyes.
No, it's not.
Oh yeah, it is because they're getting points. They're getting points, so it's technically close.
I can't do it.
They have to run the ball, though. If they don't run the ball, they're screwed.
Is Devon Achane even starting? I mean, that's my question.
Oh, Skylar Thompson, listen to this. His line right now. Is this really his line? Over under 196.5 passing yards.
The Saints are kind of bad on pass defense. That is...
the Seahawks right now are rated second against the pass.
They played the Pats and the Broncos, though.
Bro, is Skylar Thompson any better?
Wait, what's the number you have?
196.5.
Where's that at?
DK.
Down.
Is that like easy money to me? I think I might be getting suckered.
That does sound like a... We're going to write it down. It might go in.
That seems so... I mean... 200 yards passing? I mean, maybe if like Tyreek Hill breaks off a 100-yard receiving, maybe he'll get close. Boy, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll leave it at
Hard to make.
that. Seattle or nothing. This is an under game, under 42.5. I have no faith in Skyler.
Yeah, if we like the under, I'm going under passing yards. I'm definitely keeping that one in mind.
Yeah, correlated. All right, next up, 4 o'clock. It's Kyler Murray coming off the big win against the Rams. Back home again, hosting the Detroit Lions, coming off that home loss to the Bucks. Lions are laying 3 on the road, though, minus 148. Over-under is set, 51.5. And the Arizona Cardinals, plus 126 on the money line. Home underdogs. Arizona getting 55% of the bets, 59% of the money. Or did I say it? Sorry, 59% of the money, 55% of the bets. That's correct. I have a feeling, Mansman. I have a feeling I know you're going with this, but I'm just gonna give you the floor. This is yours.
I think you knew. This is how you do it, Steve, by the way. This is the fade of the week. It's time. I've had enough of Midget Boy. Wow. They beat the decrepit remains of an injured, broken Rams team. And wow, they lost by 6 to Buffalo after returning a kickoff for a touchdown. They're really good. Arizona might be a playoff team. Let's put in 58% of the bets against a team that has lost 10 straight games following a win. 10 straight. On the other side, the Lions, they're not that good. 9 straight covers following a loss. So you're literally getting one of the best teams following a loss against one of the worst teams coming off a win. And we talked about how bad Kyler is at home. Wow, congratulations. You won 1 game at home against the Rams in your last 20. Boy, you're really good now. This is the fade of the week. Every sharp is gobbling up this Arizona team, this overrated bum, Kyler Murray, talking MVP. It is, I'm on Raw, full practice. We good. We good on that end. Jared Goff's fine. Everyone's fine. I know the one thing that's scary is there was a mention that Detroit's defense has struggled against running quarterbacks in the past, but I think Detroit coming off a loss is really good. I'm sick of hearing about Midge Boy. It's time to cut the bullshit. The Cardinals have been a deadbolt over team pretty much every time they're at home. This is a deadbolt Lions over game. And I think it's high scoring, but I think Detroit is going to roll. Give me the Lions. Fade of the week against Arizona.
Yeah, to put this in more perspective, they've won 4 home games since 2022. They've won 3 of their last 8 at home.
Oh, and in the contest, Detroit 2.5.
I love it so much.
Seattle, the Raiders 4.5 too in the contest.
How about this number for you? I will say this is more, and I don't know if I'm being dumb. I don't know if it's fear. It's Detroit money line for me. And I'm throwing it in a parlay with someone else since I'm getting it under minus 150 barely, but reason being is I will admit Kyler and the Marvin Harrison connection concerns me. I don't know if Detroit's defense really is that good either. And I would hate to see Kyler being able to run. They double cover Harrison. Kyler can run. We'll do one QB contain. Well, then now you got Marvin Harrison one-on-one, and then you get burned. James Conner, we haven't really seen too much of him, but if he becomes effective in a game like this, I could see it happening. So I would say Detroit wins, and I'm going to take Detroit to cover at 3. Here's the stat, though. This is where I say enough's enough and don't get cute. Arizona, after a win since 2022, 0-8 straight up. This is the worst team you could bet on after they've won a game.
Yep.
This is the classic fade of the week from Money Management. I 100% endorse this pick. I am right there with him. This is a bad spot for the public to take the Cardinals. I think the Sharps are going to be all over Detroit. I'm shocked it's only 3. I wonder if by game time we can get this any lower, because if we can, boy, oh boy, I may. This might be a knock on wood mortgage bet. If I can get Detroit at 2, it might be a mortgage bet.
It's -3, -105, so maybe.
We'll see. 2.5 is lurking.
I don't think they're going to do it because I think they're afraid that the Sharps will steam Detroit once it goes 2.5.
Could be.
They don't want to get middle to 3, although I don't think it's going to be a middle game. I think Arizona's going to get crushed. They played the remnants of a dying, dead, sick dog last week. It's going to be a lot different this week.
Yeah, without a doubt. What's your over-under play, though? At 51.5, I think it's the highest one on the card this week.
It's very high, but Arizona at home, I feel like there's a lot of garbage potential in this game. I have to go deadbolt to over just because of the trends. It is high, though. It is high. I think it's an over game, though. I think this is a track meet. Although I do think Arizona's going to have trouble running the ball. Detroit good against the run. So,
yeah, it's under. I go under in this game, but barely. This one's gonna test me. That's all I can really push towards. I mean,
going chalk hunting in these fucking 4:00 games. That's not great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and look up Cardinals as home favorites, like what the over-under trends are. I don't think it was anything significant. Oh, yeah, actually, shit, I was wrong. It's 2-0 because they've never been home favorites much, but they tend to be over games. I just think this number's too high. And the handicap has to make sense. If Arizona's going to struggle, they're not going to score. Detroit, it could be I think it's like 30-16. 30-17, 31-17. It's going to hit close to that over-under. I don't know if it gets there, though.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now we actually have the Fox game of the week in true fashion. It's the Baltimore Ravens, 0-2 to start the season. They're traveling as road favorites to the Dallas Cowboys, to Jerry World in a pick'em contest. Ravens -1.5 is the favorite. Cowboys are technically the home underdog, +1.5 at -120. Over-under is set 47.5. Cowboys have the look ahead to the New York Giants. Ravens, I believe, also have a look ahead, but I'm going to double check that. That's right. They do have a look ahead. They have a look ahead to Sunday Night Football, to your Buffalo Bills next Sunday.
God, they got to win this game because Buffalo's pretty good against them.
Oh, boy. Okay, so I believe it is my go on this one. That's right.
Cowboys. It was my fade of the week last time, yeah.
Yeah, Cowboys have the Thursday Night Football look ahead. So Thursday night to the Giants. It's like I said, this is another disgusting handicap. I don't want to do it. I have to do it. It's Ravens -1.5.
The NFC killer, right?
He is the NFC killer. 20-3 straight up all time for Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are 0-2. They've lost 2 very close games. They cannot afford to go 0-3. This Cowboys team beat a fraudulent Browns, and then basically they proceeded to get their asses kicked the week after.
Yeah, laid an egg
by a oh Christ, who the fuck? By the Saints. And now it's the original team Kerry Kubiak came from, and now it's, the Ravens and John Harbaugh. Or Jim, I forget which one. I think it's John, but
John, yeah, this is Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny boy's coming in. Ravens just really good against the NFC. Dallas Cowboys against AFC opponents. I mean, I'm gonna try and look that stat up, but for me, it's Lamar Jackson versus the NFC. You hit it. You don't really ask questions. And in a pick'em game, I'm not overthinking it.
Dallas is better at home. Lamar is the NFC killer. I do think this is over. 12 of the last 15 have been over for Dallas at home. So I do think it's going to be an over game. Baltimore, wow, really? 6-1 straight up on the road against Dallas?
Yeah.
Other than, again, the last one, they played Dallas in 2016, though, in Dallas, so they haven't played that much. Here's the one scary part about this. The Lamar Jackson NFC killer. 6 straight failed covers on the road against the NFC East. It's actually the one chink in the NFC armor that Baltimore has.
Yeah, there's another trend too. It's Dallas at home versus the AFC. They've actually won 4 straight, but the teams they beat, it was the Colts in 2022, which I think was Matt Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. They beat the Texans. I'll leave that to in and of itself. Last year, they played the Jets at home and the Patriots at home. They haven't really had a good team to play up against home. And prior to that, which was 2021, they barely beat Cincinnati 20-17. I think that was Joe Burrow's rookie season. Or no, 2022.
Yeah.
It's not his rookie season, but they barely beat them. They lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Broncos in 2021 at home.
Oh boy, this is a tough one.
I just my problem here is the Ravens are desperate. The Cowboys, I think, are going to look ahead to beating the Giants. Ezekiel Elliott is not who I thought was going to be with this new return to Dallas. So Dallas really can't run the ball. I think the Ravens can do enough to keep this close, and I think you're only getting 1.5 points. I think you have to take the Ravens here. There's really not much else to it. But I could be wrong. I mean,
I am going to... I'm going to stick with my initial gut, and I'm going to take the Cowboys. I was leaning Cowboys at home dog. I know Dallas isn't great as dogs. I tend to favor Dallas at home. The Lamar Jackson NFC killer kind of made me rethink it, but they haven't covered on the road against the NFC East in 6 straight. I remember when they failed to cover against the Giants in that one game when Baltimore completely blew it. I don't know. I don't think this Ravens team's that good. I think they got very lucky last year. Their offensive line isn't as good. They're not running the ball as well. Derrick Henry's a step slow.
Now take everything you just said and replace it with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, I mean, it's the same argument. No offense. It's just they are the equivalent of each other when you really think about it.
Gave up 280 yards to Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott could get 300 and still lose. I mean, we've seen that how many times. That's my problem. The Ravens and if there was an AFC equivalent to the Cowboys, it's the Ravens. All they talk about is the last Super Bowl they won, which was how many years? Now we're going 12, 13 years ago. That's all they talk about. They haven't done much since. They've never really... I mean, at least the Ravens made the conference championship, but they haven't done much else afterwards. Lamar has 2 MVPs. Dak has none. But like the
Lamar
fan
should have
bases,
had an MVP last year. It was a joke.
but I mean the fan bases are similar. The teams are similar. Like they're playoff teams. They could win the division, but they're never going to make it past the fucking conference championship if they make it, and they constantly choke. And in a situation where Lamar's the NFC killer, I know the game against Detroit was real close. I think that one went to overtime, but they still won. It's a game that's a pick 'em. That's really what it comes down to. It's essentially
tough.
a pick 'em.
I think it's a coin flip game. I'm going to stick with my initial instinct, and what happens happens. It's tough though. I can't fault your logic.
Would you bet Incinerator on it?
Oh no.
All right,
no,
then.
not
right.
a game like this. I got to feel confident in a game before I'm betting a Cine.
All right.
Patriots, I would have bet a Cine. That's why I'm going to be doing one, because I was real confident on that one. No, this one's a coin flip. Like, it's really a tough one. I don't know. Was there a game where we were against each other that was worth the Incinerator? We have to think about that.
No, we've been pretty much neck and neck. I mean, we were both on Detroit, both on Seattle, both on Vegas, both on Green Bay, both on Tampa, both on Pittsburgh.
Not Chicago Indy.
We'll circle back.
We'll think about it. All right, what do we got next?
Last 4 o'clock game. It's the LA Rams. LA Rams catching 6.5 at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Minus 275 road favorites for the Niners. Rams are plus 225 at home. Over-under is 43.5. Rams are 0-2 as well. Niners are 1-1 coming off of a loss. Over-unders both are 1-1. This is a very contingent pick. And I'll be quick. I know it's your turn, but I'm just going to be quick and let you go. Under 7, Niners or nothing.
Our contest is 7.5.
God, I'm going to get fucked again. Well, you know what? You're being dumb and taking the Bears, so I guess I could be dumb and take the Rams plus 7.5 in contest.
I'm thinking about doing the same thing.
Although I don't agree with it, I do think the Rams are going to lose. McVay is a covering machine for some reason against the Niners. Remember the last game too, where I think it was the first game. There was a 10-point spread. They were down by 13, and McVay, rather than going for the touchdown, just kicks the field goal to get the cover.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, McVay is very aware of the spreads. He tries to keep it close anyways. I could just see it happening again.
This team's different with Deebo Samuel. That's the big difference. I mean, this team just scores significantly less with him out, and they're just running into injuries. I'm still picking San Fran to win the game, but I think I got to take the Rams with the points. I hate to do it. I just think they got embarrassed last week, so it's a close your eyes special.
Yeah, they are the true close your eyes special. And I sent you the link to the stat I sent you a picture of the stat that I sent. But it is that underdogs that lose by 30 or more the week after are 102, 59, and 8 ATS.
Oh man. Yeah.
Which is a 63% clip.
God, the Rams haven't been good as underdogs. They failed in 5 straight to cover the spread as dogs following a loss. Oh, they've lost 5 straight too. I mean, I don't know. I think the loss of Deebo Samuel is really big, and they're catching injuries. This is just a game I want to. This is an under game for me. I'm playing the under in this game because I don't like the injury situation for either team. So I think it could get kind of ugly. So this is an under game for me, and I think Rams with the points just because when in doubt, I'm taking the points. So I think San Fran wins, but I think the Rams could cover. And at 7.5, yeah, I kind of agree with you. Actually, I thought I was on a limb because I was like, geez, that seems like a lot. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, look, for the sake of this video and with FanDuel giving us 6.5, I'm going Niners 6.5. 7 or higher, it's Rams. That I just want to make that clear.
God, I think even 6.5. God, I could see the Niners winning this game 24-20 or some shit like that. 20
You
to
very
20 to
well
17.
could be right.
Yeah, okay. Next game.
The way the Rams performed last week, I want nothing to do with them.
Then
That's
again,
the only
yeah,
reason.
that's true. That's true.
All right, Sunday Night Football, primetime Pat Mahomes, -3, -176 on the money line.
Primetime Kirko coming off a win.
Back-to-back primetime Kirko, +148, home underdogs for Kirko Thuggins. Over-under is 46.5. Chiefs are getting 75% of the bets and the money on FanDuel, despite the fact that the Chiefs are also 1-1 in the spread, and they are 2-0 straight up, despite the fact that the refs had to bail them out once again. 2-0 on the over for the Chiefs, 0-2 on the under for the Falcons. Money Management, Sunday Night Football, where are we going?
Yeah, again, look to the dog. Is there a reason to bet Atlanta? Kirk Cousins in primetime again. I'm always looking to fade him. The Eagles, it took a monumental effort for them to lose the cover last week. That was a very lucky win. Atlanta hasn't covered. The spread is underdogs in 5 straight against the AFC. I have primetime Mahomes at close to a field goal. Sorry, I hate to do it because I'm so sick of the Chiefs, but Chiefs, I think, get it done. Andy Reid gets it done against a rookie head coach. Atlanta, short week against the Chiefs, where they haven't been good as underdogs against the AFC. Yeah, I got the Kansas City Chiefs in this one.
This is another one where the number it kills me. At 3, it's the Chiefs. But I will remind you, Kirko, I don't have the numbers, but Pat Mahomes actually really, for some reason, he struggles on Sunday Night Football. Remember last year against the Green Bay Packers, where they just completely laid a fucking egg. And I'm trying to pull up my last year's handicaps to that game.
Oh, by the way, here we go, Steve. 3.5 is the contest.
Take the Falcons.
Oh, baby. Okay.
Take the Falcons.
Okay.
3 straight Sunday. What was the Green Bay Kansas City score? Hang on. Let me pull that up real quick. 27-19. So let me get this straight. The Chiefs have not covered this number in 4 straight Sunday Night Football matchups. Let me see. There was week 17, or was it week 18 they were Sunday Night Football? No, that was a 4 o'clock game. Yeah, so 4 straight, the Chiefs have not covered this number on Sunday Night Football. And I want to say, what is it with Sunday Night Football? I know there's a trend. I think it's the
handicap. I like the thinking.
That's right. It's the home team. The home team tends to be really, really good on Sunday Night Football, and that's the Falcons. And favorites. That's the other trend. Favorites were really good up until week 13 to 18 last year, where they went 3-3 straight up. Now it's 5-3 straight up, but only 4-4 ATS. So it's I really think this is kind of the game you really want to look at, and you kind of want to say which team would you rather back? Because if you would rather back the Falcons, you take them with I think 3.5 or more, you take the Falcons. Anything less, you have to go Kansas City. Kansas City money line, though, I would not. I
just think we're a little too high on Atlanta. They were a 4-point favorite 5 days. They were a 4-point dog 5 days ago, and they went up to a 3 after. And maybe the Pacheco injury has something to do with it. Although I'm on the Carson Steele train. You're
on the Carson Steele train.
My boys from SGPN have been your show. They've been convincing me. Carson Steele train, but no. I don't know, man. I think Atlanta, they got a lot of credibility for beating the Eagles when they were 99% to lose the game. So I don't know. I I think this spread should be 4.5, not like 3. Not 3.5. So there you have it.
There you go. And I mean, look, Kirk Cousins coming off of a Monday Night Football win. Do we want to back him again in prime time? I personally don't.
I don't know.
I don't. And that's where I get down to it at the end of the day. So give me the Chiefs laying the points. Give me the under 2 in that game. Yeah, this is the one where I think Kirko struggles. That's all there is to it. I think Kirko struggles. I think Kirko was really lucky to get 21 last week. Should have only been 14. And that's really it. Monday Night Football. Boy, oh boy. Starting off, we have 2 Monday Night Football games. Why do we have 2 Monday Night? I don't know if I like or hate this because I do have the side-by-side where I can get the 2 games. God, they just seem to pick the worst fucking matchups, though. It's never anything good. It's just like shit football Monday night. Here, get 2 screens.
Bro, I've been talking bad about my Bills. What the fuck?
I'm not a fan of the matchup. Look, it's the Jags. You're right, though. It is your Buffalo Bills. They're only 4.5 point home favorites, minus 240. Hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a 2-1 road dog. Over-under is set 45.5.
Oh, they're down to 4.5 now? Jesus.
Yeah, down to 4.5. Over-under's 45.5. It's your team, Money Mansman. It's your Buffalo Bills. Show your Jim Kelly. Start rapping the shit. Come on. Show your pride. There you go.
Baby. Jim Kelly.
Let's
sorry,
go.
Jim. Sorry, Jim. I hate to do it. I rarely ever do it. Although I did it the Arizona game, and I was right. I said Arizona 6.5. Even though I didn't have the balls to bet it myself. I pussied out.
Yeah.
Bro, 6 straight the underdogs have covered in this matchup. 4 straight covers as underdogs against the Bills for the Jaguars. The real Josh Allen. He's present. You want my betting insight? I think Jacksonville finds a way to cover this game. I hate to say it. I don't know what it is. They just have the Bills' number. They covered in London. They beat them in Jacksonville. Buffalo beat them as an underdog in 2018, the first Jalen Ramsey game. But I don't know. Jacksonville just seems to have the Bills' number. It's crazy. Josh Allen doesn't play great against them. The other Josh Allen, the real Josh Allen, plays really well. I think last game he had 3 sacks, like an interception.
Is he healthy?
Crazy.
Or I thought he was injured.
Maybe if he's injured, I'll bet. Maybe if he's injured, I'll bet the Bills. I want to bet the Bills. I have a feeling the Bills could really put a hurting on them. But I don't know. No, because Josh Allen, the real Josh Allen, got his first sack last week. The Bills have injuries. They're coming off Thursday night.
Extra rest.
Extra rest. Josh Allen did win in those scenarios before. I don't know. In terms of the actual pick, I love me the Bills. I have to go with the Jaguars for the pick. 4 straight. They just seem to have the Bills' number. And the Bills don't need to win this game. By beating Miami and winning the first 2, they've given themselves a little bit of a cushion. I don't know. It feels like a game they're going to struggle to me. I hope I'm wrong.
Josh Allen, I think it's the numbers, and again, I have to double check. I think it's 2-9 ATS in his last 11 primetime games. He did cover and beat the Dolphins, though, both times.
I think he's better on Thursday. I think he's better on Thursday than the other week.
No,
he's not
better
good on Monday. He's not good on Monday. I know that.
He's no good in primetime unless it's Miami. Because those were the last 2 opponents he won and covered. It was both Miami. By the way, it's no longer Joshua Allen on the Jags. It's now Josh Hines Allen. He legally changed his name. Why he did that, I couldn't tell you, but it's no longer 2 Josh Allens. There's only 1. And there's only one real motherfucker on this field, and that's Josh Allen. There's only one guy really who's MVP right now.
Yeah,
That
Joshua
motherfucker's-
Hines.
Now, motherfuckers, Joshua Allen.
The Josh Allen.
The Joshua Wyoming quarterback Allen. The other Josh Allen, he only got 4 combined tackles, 1 assist against Cleveland. He only had 2 for 2 against Miami. Hasn't really had that good of a season so far. Neither has Trevor Lawrence. Neither really has anyone on this Jackson. They've been such disappointments to start the season. This is the same team that in their own end zone, rather than design a quick out or have a way for Trevor Lawrence to get rid of the ball, did a play action and took a safety against Cleveland. Like really think about that for a minute. That was how they ended their last game. They ran a play action against Cleveland's front 4 with Myles Garrett to lose by 5.
That didn't work out.
And now you want me to take them with 4.5, which last I checked is less than 5, to the supposed number 1 contender for MVP, the 2-0 Bills that shut down the running quarterback. And look, you're 100% right. History and precedents, they do tell you to take the Jags. There's something wrong with this Jags team. Like, the way that they have not been good. This is not the Jags team that's like mid-season form that we're used to seeing against the Bills. This is like the Jags that like are not getting it together. This is, I mean, I'm going to pull the Trevor Lawrence numbers up, but I mean, he has been back to like rookie year levels. Bad. 162 yards against Miami, 220 against Cleveland, no touchdowns, no picks. I'm not sold, Trevor, and especially with the Bills defense, the way they actually stepped up against Tua, the way they stepped up in that second half to Kyler. They're getting extra rest. That's a big key. They're getting an extra day since it's Monday night. They're at home. They're not in London. They're not in Jacksonville. It's been how many years since the last win? I think Joshua Allen runs this game. It's scary. I know the last Monday night game. It was the Broncos game. I think the Bills have some demons to exercise. I think there's a lot of demons. This is a pretty prime spot, though, for the Bills to get over the hump of prime time, which has been reigning over them for a while.
You know what you may want to think about playing? Josh Allen, I think, still has that glove on his hand. I would play Josh Allen under rushing because I don't know if he's going to run that much again in this game. The number's 30.5, I think. I think it's 30.5.
He might not have to, quite frankly.
It's 30.5 rushing. And I think that's live because if he has the glove on his hand, he didn't run a lot with the glove on his hand last week. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm looking here. There's alt rushing. There's rushing and receiving.
And unfortunately, the Bills are the worst prop team to play because I still don't know who their number 1 receiver is going to be.
Yeah, that is. But I mean, James Cook is the truth. He's there.
Yeah, Jacksonville, the 11th against the run. I just
How's
have
Buffalo
a fan.
against the run? That's another question. If Buffalo can't stop the run, then maybe that's the problem. But
Hard to tell because they did okay against Miami. They didn't do that well against Arizona. What are their defensive stats? 19th against the run, 12th against the pass, but 8th in scoring. So, not bad.
So, and by the way, Trevor Lawrence has really been bad in the red zone. So I feel like this is a game. This would be a game I'd bet over prop yards for Jacksonville, but like for scoring, I'd be hitting the unders.
Yeah. I think over Jacksonville, I'd look under Bills, especially this one, Josh Allen, 265 pass and rushing yards. I might go under that.
Yeah. All right, finally, I got nothing else there. Do you have an over-under prop? I got under 45.5 for the Bills.
I agree. I would look under.
All right, and Yeah, I did. Yep, I did all 5 of my best bets. Okay. So finally, I don't have too much on this, so let's maybe rapid fire. We got the Commanders, aka the Commies. Jaden Daniels, they're 7.5-point road underdogs traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Monday Night Football, another Monday Night Football team that tends to struggle, the Bengals. Laying 7.5 minus 360, over unders 46.5. Let me see if there's any betting trends. Cincy getting 79% of the money, but 62% of the bets. Jaden Daniels has been looking more serviceable. I don't have him winning or covering this by any stretch. Since he's 0-2, they're in a similar boat as the Ravens. They need a win, or else their playoff hopes are dead. They're gonna beat up on a really bad team. They just got killed by a ref last week against the Chiefs. They're gonna be pissed. They're gonna look.
God, do you like them at 7.5?
Yeah, I mean, I have to for my handicap to work. I don't think Washington's a good team to begin with. I don't think they're going to be a good road team. And think of it this way. No offensive touchdowns against the Giants. They won because they kicked 7 field goals. Are they going to do that against Cincy?
That's not going to work against Cincy, I don't think.
No, it's not even going to be close. So, Cincy all the way, minus 7.5.
I'll tell you, I would look I'd look to the over in this game because I feel like there's going to be a lot of effort there's going to be a lot of attempts. Cincy 9 straight wins against the NFC, but strangely enough, Washington has covered 6 straight on the road against the AFC. But I agree with you on this one. Bad spot for Washington coming off a win. Monday Night Football for the rookie quarterback. Really tough spot against a Cincinnati team that seems to be sort of getting it together. They need a win. I think this is a good spot for them at home. I could see this being I could see Cincy putting up a 30 spot here. And a few yeah. And looking at it, they got a few Zach Ertz, limited practice. Cleveland Farrell, I don't know if he's starting for them. I don't know. Washington's D is no good. I got Cincinnati here as well. Not going to overthink this one.
No, I'm not overthinking this either. Washington's defense, shockingly, like stats-wise, not nearly as bad. Except for the fact they gave up 6 passing touchdowns, which is right now the most in the league. So I'm looking at Jamar Chase anytime touchdown. I'm looking at that whole receiving core. I may be looking at some fucking plays there. Joe Burrow, 3 passing touchdowns could be in play. Like, that may be a dummy play. Like, I may do that, like a Josh Allen. Maybe not Josh, but like a Joe Burrow, Derek Carr, 3 passing touchdown performance. Like, that could be in the works.
Yeah, maybe. That could be good. That could be good.
All right, well, that's it. We got through all 15 fucking games in the week 3 slate. We're going to run through our best bets. We'll run through what we loved afterwards. Maybe get a dummy corporation bet. Money Management, kick it off. Give me your best bet, your dog of the week. Give us your fade of the week, and then give us your best over-under play.
Well, I already gave my dog, and that dog has been taken out back and put a bullet in its brain.
Get the bag. Get the bag.
Yeah, the New England Patriots are already dead. Best bet, Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Broncos. I think that's pretty straightforward. Going to be an easy one. My fade of the week, time to fade the Arizona Cardinals. Time to fade them against the Detroit Lions. And I'm trying to think, what would my over-under play of the day be? I'm going to go with the under in Bears Colts. I have it 44. It's 43.5 in some places. I'm going to go under there. And then over. Oh, where do I want to go over? I'm trying to think. Let me be a little frisky. Let me go over Eagles Saints. Over 49.5 on DK. I think that's a high-scoring game with not a whole lot of defense as well. So
love it.
Those are my picks. I'm not going to call them best bets for this week. Those are my best picks for this week.
All right, favorite of the week, aka my best bet. I got Pittsburgh -1.5. I love it more at -3 if Easton Stick is starting. Best bets there. Dog of the week, I'm taking the Vikings +120 on the money line. Fade of the week, I am fading this Carolina Panthers team still. Don't know where they're getting love because it's Andy Dalton. Over of the week, give me over 36.5 points in the Packers-Titans game. Under of the week, under 39.5 in the Browns-Giants. Our corporation picks that we were unison on. Got a 3-burger for you. Saints -1.5 first half. Bucks over 23.5 team total. Skylar Thompson under 196.5 passing yards.
One more time. Repeat it one more time.
Okay, Tampa Bay 23.5 on the over for team total.
Like it.
Saints -1.5 first half.
Yep.
Skylar Thompson under 196.5 passing yards.
Oh boy, I love that. What are the odds on that bad boy?
I believe
6 to
it's
1?
6-1.
Woo! I like that.
All right, I think we have a court bet, people. Do we want to add anything in there? Is there anything I missed? I know you were the big player prop guy this week, so I want to see if you have a.
I'm trying to think if there were any other ones that were like really just gimmies.
Let's see here.
Any
So let me-
over player props we liked?
We both were kind of on the under for Josh Allen with the rushing.
I hate to combine Sunday and Monday night games. Kind of annoys me.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Damn, I'm trying to remember. We have one from the Saints already, so we should.
We're both on the Raiders, aren't we? -6.
Oh, we could do Raiders -6.
We'll throw that in. We're already at 6-1. I just need to throw in the
That's got to
Skylar
be
Thompson.
what, 10 to 1?
Let's see. Passing props. Under 11.5 to 1, adding in the Raiders. And then we were both on my under of the week, under 39.5 for the Giants Cleveland, right?
Oh shit. The Danny Dime Ball under. Although you didn't like that. You didn't like the Danny Dime Ball under 186. That's the other one I really liked.
I wasn't sold.
I'm going to have to go back through this video and literally listen to it to figure out what I want to bet. I threw out like so many bets that I liked, and now I can't remember half of them.
That's what happens here. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, yeah, so that's an 11.5 to 1. So that's going to be our court play. Raiders -6, Saints -1.5 first half, over 23.5 team total for the Bucks, under 196.5 passing yards for Skylar Thompson. 11.86 2-1 on DraftKings. Money Management, any final words for the folks before we sign out?
No, I'm posting the week 3 contest now, so take a look on our Twitter page at DeGents Podcast. I saw we had a couple of viewers tune in at various points during the video, so thank you to whoever stopped by and checked us out for a little bit. Going to try and do kind of break it up into a little like shorter videos for like our best picks. I'm going to try and break it up a little over the next couple of days. Maybe do a couple shorts. I did your Carolina bet last week. I'm sure you saw that on there. Yeah. So I'm going to try and break it up a little so that, more people get a chance to see some of our stuff. I know these videos go long, but we handicap anyway, so whatever.
As we do. All right, I got nothing left. Thank you, DeGents, for joining. Make sure you join the contest. The Big Bucks Challenge is live once again. $50 free bet to anyone who beats Money Management and Big Bucks in week 3 on the spreads and the money line contest. I got nothing else. I'm Steve. Big Bucks Beta.
Money Man's been signing off, and as
And
always,
as always, go make that motherfucking money.
money.